Oh my god, like where do I even start? I have to tell you, none of you are going to believe what my second place for Constructors Championship is. All I can tell you is that it's bold. Hi guys, and welcome back to A Girl Talks Formula One. With you, your server, Manana Manatu, and today, precisely, I have my 2022 Formula One predictions. Okay, for real though, let's start with number 20, shall we? I was really struggling a little bit between 20 and 19. I do think that the regulations are going to help a lot of teams. And in a way, we can't really say that easily who we think is going to win because, the whole cars are changing, you know? Teams that were not so good on 2020 were kind of good on 2021. If it is exactly what we expect it to be and how they say that everything is going to be much more equal, we might be seeing a lot of surprises this season. But if I'm honest with you, I want to give my higher positions to the more veteran drivers, which I don't give them to all because even though the regulations are changing, we still have stronger teams than others. With that being said, I do want to give my veteran drivers, better positions, but only time will tell. We literally have to see the season and we literally have to see the season and live it in order for us to actually give a verdict. As I always say, I don't like watching other videos or wait for the winter testing to have a little bit of influence on my decisions. That's why I filmed it right now. And that's why it took me so long because I literally didn't know who to put where. Let's hope I get quite a few right. In Constructors, I don't think many things changed, but you will see once we get to Constructors. Anyway, okay, whatever. We do have Guanyu Zhou joining the Formula One for the first time. What is wrong with me today? For the first time, but Haas will always be Haas. Gunther Steiner has stated that he is really focusing on the 2022 season, and I really hope this is true. But 20th place, I still gave it to Nikita Mazepin. Oops, I really didn't want to do this, but I had to. 19th place, I gave it to our first ever Chinese driver in Formula One, Guanyu Zhou. Wow, Alfa Romeo is slightly above Haas, at least from what we've seen. That is the only reason why I gave him 19th place and not Nikita. But Mick Schumacher did go up a place on my list compared to last season's predictions, and I gave him 18th place. To be honest, there is not much that will change in many teams, and Nicolas Latifi did manage to improve so much on 2021 compared to 2020 because it did have a better car. But I still will be giving him 17th place. Don't ask me why, I just will. And on 16th place, wow, I really dropped him down so much. 2021, he ended up in 14th place, but this season I am giving the 16th place to Yuki Tsunoda. Why? Because as I mentioned, I am giving the more veteran drivers higher positions. Maybe not the highest, but yes, higher. 15th place, I am giving it to Lance Stroll. And I might have been a bit bold on my 14th place, but I did want to take in account that he was on Red Bull for a while, and Williams is becoming much better. So last season, we saw George Russell end up in 15th with these new regulations, and Jos Capito mentioning that they have enough money to get through the whole 2022 season. I gave this place to Alex Albon. Hey, I know he is just coming back to Formula One, but that doesn't mean he wasn't practicing. 13th place, and I am being very confident because I know he's a really good driver, despite the team. I'm giving it to Valtteri Bottas. So Valtteri, don't make me mad. 12th place, I really did not want to give it to him, but I had to because, I do hope that Aston Martin becomes a better team in 2022. They promised so much and delivered so little. But since Alpine is better, I gave the 12th place to Sebastian Vettel. I felt so bad. But at least it's a position higher than, I don't know. Higher than what? Anyway, only time will tell. As I mentioned, these are only predictions. I might be wrong in more than half of them. This is what I saw based on 2021 and what I can kind of infer from 2022. So please, people, do not judge me. These are only my opinions, which I did base on a lot of facts, but it doesn't mean they will be right. These are my predictions, and you might have yours, and we might disagree on quite a few. So let's move on to 11th place. I gave it to Esteban Ocon because why not? He does manage to surprise me every time, and I do think he is one of the most underrated drivers. At least for me, like I never really give him high positions on anything, and he did manage to score his first victory in 2021, so we'll see. Just because my driver on 9th place is kind of being on fire, I had to give one of my favorite drivers, Pierre Gasly, 10th place because, as always, I think he's so good, yet I never know where to put him. I feel so bad. 9th place was for legendary Fernando Alonso. He is still waiting for his 3rd world championship, and I do really hope he gets it. I just don't think 2022 is the year. 8th place. I gave it to our beloved Daniel Ricciardo. I do think he will improve quite a lot this new season. I just don't know how much. But my 7th place, I gave it to a driver in a new team. And I know this place might be a little bit low for him and for the car he's gonna get, but he is in a new team. And Bahrain could have been just luck. But he's also very talented, so I gave this to George Russell. And yes, I maybe should have given him a higher position because of the car he has. Then again, like he is going to be in a new team, you know? And he hasn't been all those many years in Formula One despite him being really talented. I do hope he proves me wrong and he does end up higher. But in the meantime, I gave him 7th place. Now, my first 6 places didn't change as much from my predictions last season, from the standings last season, but let's give them up anyway. I think Ferrari is going to do a much better job in their cars, and especially in their drivers. Both Carlos Sainz and Jacques Leclerc have been preparing so much for 2022, mentally, physically, emotionally. The point is that my 6th place is for Lando Norris. Yes, I know, he performed amazingly in 2021. But that first half of the 2021 season, I'm not saying it was luck. Lando Norris is legit one of the best drivers in the making in Formula One. What I do have to say though, is that he got lucky in a way, in the sense that a lot of drivers were getting used to their new cars, and once they were adjusted, we could see sadly how Lando started going lower on the standings of the drivers. 5th place, I'm giving it to Jacques Leclerc. I have big hopes for Ferrari this season. I think Ferrari might have a comeback, and that is precisely why I gave 4th place to Carlos Sainz. He thinks he's ready to beat both Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton in 2022. I think it's a little too soon for him, but if Ferrari does manage to deliver everything they were promising for 2022, 2023 shouldn't be an issue for Carlos Sainz, and he could indeed become world champion. My top 3. Oh my god. 3rd place, Checo Perez. He is finally gonna have a trophy and go to the FIA prize giving. I am so happy, and I highly believe he can win 3rd place. For my first 2 places, I was struggling so much, especially since I am one of those people that bet so much on Max Verstappen. Abu Dhabi, we all have our opinions. Some favor Lewis, some favor Max. I honestly favor none. I favor luck, Checo and Nicolas Latifi, honestly. Max had a big influence of luck on his winning, but he absolutely deserved it, no matter the reason. Anything can happen in any sport. You see teams winning on the last 15 seconds, managed to score a goal. The same thing can happen in Formula One. Here the cards were laid on the table like, okay, you know what? We're not gonna end the most exciting season of history of Formula One with a safety car. Yes. Overtake, safety car goes up with less than a lap. Whatever happens, happens. And that's exactly what happened. Max Verstappen won. But in this case, I am giving my 2nd place to Max Verstappen. It breaks my heart. It really does. And I don't want to say this, but I already did. And the first place to Lewis Hamilton, so contradictory from my previous predictions list, but I just think Lewis Hamilton is gonna come back so angry, so thirsty and hungry for winning that he will do whatever it takes to win. Moving on to constructors. 10th place, well, Haas. 9th place, Alfa Romeo. Yes, there's a new driver. Yes, he's bringing money, but Williams is also getting money. So I still think Alfa Romeo is going to finish on 9th and Williams on 8th. Surprisingly though, and maybe I might regret this decision, but I gave my 7th place to Alfa Tauri. I don't know, like we saw an unsatisfied Sebastian Vettel with Aston Martin, and I don't think they want to lose him. So I think Lawrence Stroll might spend a little more cash money, baby, on the team to have him and his son satisfied, and so that they can actually be on the podiums more often. Which, by the way, Sebastian Vettel did manage to get a podium on 2021, so I hope we see much more of that in 2022. 6th place, I gave it to Aston Martin because why not? In 5th place, I'm actually keeping Alpine, and in 4th place, I'm keeping McLaren because there's been a few rumors that Alpine is struggling with their car for 2022. And McLaren, I think they will have good changes, but mostly the best change they will have is to have Daniel Ricciardo kind of get used to his car, you know, build it for him. Now my top 3, this is where it gets spicy. 3rd place, Mercedes. I know, I'm just gonna put it out there. We have, yes, a 7 times world champion, but we have a new driver. And in 2nd place, oh my god, I'm so lame. Ferrari! Yes, my friends, Ferrari. Why? We do have 2 drivers, one very consistent, the other one that has been there for a long time. And with all these promised changes in 2022, I do indeed think Ferrari has what it takes to come back on top and end up in 2nd place. In my 1st place, I am giving it to Red Bull. I know I gave 2nd and 3rd to Checo and Max, but Red Bull can win. Max and Checo have proven that they work so well together. They will just give us what we want, which is a Red Bull Constructors Award. This was just like a little bit too overwhelming for me. Like, I didn't even want to do a 2022 predictions list because it was just so much. But these were my Formula 1 2022 predictions. What do you guys think? Did I go a little cuckoo on some of them? Ferrari 2nd in constructors. Tell me what you think about that. Like, seriously, tell me what you think about that in the comments down below. Don't forget to like or subscribe to my channel, and see you again next week on another episode of A Girl Talks Formula 1.